What's going on, my beautiful people? It's been a while. I need to do some things here. Post them live. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Here answering all of your questions today. Coming in, give me a thumbs up, say hello. Let me know where you're coming from. See if we can get some people in here. You're coming in, say what's up. Let me know where you're coming from, who you are. Appreciate you guys for being here. Happy Thursday. Thumbs up. All right. It's good to see some of my people coming in during the workday. If you guys can hear me, let me know. I have this new headset. I'm trying to see if it actually works. So let me know if it's working. And also share the feed so we can get as many people in as possible so we can answer some of these questions that people have. But in today's video, my main purpose for coming on here and having this live session is because I want to address some of the some of the things that are going around, of course, the interwebs about um, people staying in relationships that aren't very healthy. So, ooh, good. Appreciate you, Adrian. That aren't very healthy. And I titled this video "The Truth About Dating a Dismissive Avoidant" because first off, this channel is focused on everything from relationships, attachment styles, rebound relationships, and healing and moving on from breakups. So I wanted to make sure that I addressed the issue about dating someone that may be a dismissive avoidant. And let's be honest, a lot of these people don't really know for sure if they're dating someone that's a dismissive person. So you have to be very cautious about how you analyze or diagnose people who have you know maybe avoidant tendencies, because I've seen a lot of crossover between something else happening, maybe some type of personality disorder, that are not necessarily avoidant tendencies, or it can show up and present itself like being someone that's more avoidant. But a couple things that you need to know about dating someone that's avoidant is it's going to take a lot of patience in order to be with them in a serious romantic way, because depending on what age you meet them in life, the stage of their life that they're in. If there's someone that's going through schooling, they may show up different than if there's someone who's gotten their self set in their career. But either way, it's going to take patience because their subconscious programming is so much stronger than the things that they realize that they're doing. They're conscious. And it's, 95% of the way we operate. I'm pretty sure that statistic. 95% of the things that we do are all subconscious. We don't know that we're actually doing it. So for them showing up in relationships and consciously they may be saying, all right, I want a love connection. I want someone that I can be with. But subconsciously, it's going to be so much stronger saying, wait, you need to pause because this is something that's unfamiliar for me. But so, yeah, you need to realize that it's just going to be something that's going to be very taxing on your patience. And if you're someone that's anxiously attached, if you know that you are an anxious attacher, this may not be a dynamic, the dynamic for you to stick in. I mean, I'm just going to be 100% transparent there. You may have to do some serious work yourself. And honestly, when people start to protest and they are anxious people, um, this is actually a way for you to get your needs met. So I want to be very careful about what I say here, because you don't want to stick in a relationship where you're not getting your needs met at all. It's sure. I used to be an anxious attacher, and I was pretty much a glutton for affection, for time and attention. I mean, honestly, there was no filling up my love bucket, because anytime that someone started to do that for me, I just wanted more. It was almost like an insatiable appetite for the attention that they gave, and very codependent. If I have to think about, what codependency looks like, I would say probably an anxious, preoccupied person. Hey, get the likes up, get the likes up. Happy. I don't know where you guys are at. I'm working, Priscilla. Like me, what's that mean, Priscilla? Get the thumbs up. Get the thumbs up so I can get more people in here. We can have some questions asked. Ask questions if you guys are in here. Let me know where you're from. Um, and I'm very eager to see who's here and answer the questions for you guys. But that's the first thing is it's going to take a lot of patience when you're dating a dismissive person. Um, what was my other one? Uh, it takes a lot of education. Um, because usually when you're in a relationship, and I just talked to a lady about this yesterday. She said it was very defeating for her. I guess self-esteem wise, it was taxing because she felt like everything was her fault, and she didn't know anything until she found my channel. She didn't know anything about attachment style theory, and it was like a relief for her to understand that there is actually people who have these type of attachment styles. So she's like, wow, I thought it was me. I thought it was everything that I was doing. And as we got to digging a little bit deeper, because fortunate enough, she did ask the questions that she needed to ask about that person's history, about what their childhood was like, and how they ended up being more on the avoidance side when it comes to relationships. So she did ask those questions, and it made her feel so much better because she was thinking, man, this was another relationship that I ruined. But once I told her, hey, you have to be kind to yourself and understand you don't know what you don't know, you were showing up the best way with the best tools that you had in that moment. So that relationship ultimately ended, but I, I personally think that it needed to end. I think the relationship needed to happen for her to get to where she needed to be as far as like her personal development journey. And I also think that it needed to end because it was going to continue on this same cycle that it had been going on, which was a very unhealthy cycle. How much patience? Is 8 months too long for a DA to still be confused and not committing? No, everyone's different for your time frame. I mean, also you have to take into account what are your relationship goals. If you're in a relationship with someone and you're dating with intentions, you want kids, you want marriage, you want certain things. I like to say, don't hop on those layover flights because certain people that you date in your life will just simply be layover flights. They have no potential in taking you to your final destination. But unfortunately, we get so excited about staying in that city for the night, and it's very it's very defeating, when another layover flight doesn't take you to where you want to go. So, and that's actually what I'm thinking about doing next is helping people. I'm going to try to help matchmake people so they know which type of flight they're getting on. Are they getting on this temporary flight, or are they getting on somewhere that's going to have true potential and taking them all the way to their final destination? Of course, I can't do all of the work because I'm not in that relationship with them. But yeah, when you're dating a dismissive person, it's going to take patience. I don't know if 8 months is too long of patience. I mean, it's all about your goals. What are your goals? I mean, if you're fine, let's say that you're a busy person yourself and you don't need all this attention, you don't necessarily need a commitment right away. Then 8 months might be okay for you. Hey, it might be 8 years before you say, all right, enough is enough. This is actually what I want out of a relationship. But if you feel you've gotten to that point where your needs are just being completely, I guess, not fulfilled, then maybe it's time for you to move on. The next truth about dating an avoidant is they will stay in that honeymoon slash dating phase for a really long time. if you let them, they'll be in that getting to know each other stage for a long time. They won't go to the family barbecues or the Thanksgiving meals or the Christmas exchanges. They won't do that if you don't actually put a little bit of pressure on them to do it. And when I first started this channel, it was purely to educate people about attachment. Well, it kind of changed over the years, but I want to educate people about attachment style theory so they don't, make unnecessary mistakes as far as moving the relationship along too quickly when it needs to actually develop at a healthy pace. Um, but what people started to get out of the channel was hope. And I never intentionally wanted to give people false hope that a relationship could last when the other person just aren't showing up. So, and this is another reason why I wanted to do this live today is because I want to clear that up. I get a lot of, so I try to be an advocate, like in the middle, kind of like I guess the ringmaster of it all. I get a lot of hate comments and a lot of disrespectful comments towards someone that's an avoidant, and usually I can tell what their attachment style is just from the comments that they write. I can tell that they're pretty much triggered in their state that they're in, which could pass by tomorrow or the next week. But I don't think it's very productive to sit and bash people because essentially what you're doing is you're bashing someone because of their experiences in their life. And I know there are crossovers between, someone who's more narcissistic that just like to take advantage and are very self-driven, me-driven. And we're not talking about those people. We are talking about people where that they had a history, and we're not meant to be anyone's savior either, right? Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. We can't save people. People have to participate in their own rescue. But if you're doing all the heavy lifting and they're just kind of sitting back and reaping the benefits of it, then that's not the dynamic for me. I mean, I think after a while, it can become unintentional emotional abuse when you stay in those types of dynamics. When people are hearing your needs, they're changing to accommodate your needs temporarily, but they continue to do whatever they want to do. Those are the dynamics you need to get out of. Hey, Zandra, where you guys from? All right, the next truth I have is a lot of relationships with an avoidant doesn't work out. I said it. A lot of them won't work out, especially if they're not doing the work that they need to do. If they're not healing themselves, if they're not actively going to try to understand, going to a therapist or a counselor or even a coach to understand what's triggering them at times, what's healthy, what's an appropriate amount of communication, what's I guess a negligent amount of communication and interacting with the person that you're supposed to be in a relationship with, then they'll just continue going on, like the saying goes, leave well enough alone. Delaware, Pakistan, wow. Orlando, Florida. I wish I was in Florida right now. You guys can't see out this window, but there's a little bit of snow out there. So, any more questions? So my three truths: it would take a lot of education and patience to be with an avoidant person. I really think that if you go into these, I feel like every relationship, if you go into it with the right mindset, should be purely to try to teach yourself more about yourself, to try to learn more about how you show up in relationships. And at the same time, you'll understand that how other people show up in relationships isn't too much different than how, I guess, the unevolved version of you. I mean, if you are someone who does have attachment wounds, then relationships they're going to always be a journey. They're going to always be a learning experience for you. So if you go into the relationship with that mindset, really, you find yourself being more grateful when that relationship ends, because there's always going to be something that you've taken away Of course, once you get past the initial sting, and I try to be mindful about that too, which is everyone's going to be at a different stage in their healing journey, so they may not want to hear certain things. So if you looked at my whole collection of videos, I talk about the different stages. I give videos for a lot of different stages. If you're someone that's been stuck on a person for 5 years, you may need to hear some very harsh truths about what's going on in your reality. But if you're someone who are just getting out of a breakup, that's when I have to be more, trauma informed, understanding. Is it terrible? See, I was asking about that. Is it cutting in and out? Oh, no one let me know, huh? Okay. Well, looks like this live is ending. Thank you guys for being here.